The Bru are a typical Southeast Asian hill tribe inhabiting in the woodlands of the central Vietnamese highlands. Hungarian social cultural anthropology professor Vargyas Gabor spent 1.5 years at Khe Sanh. During his fieldwork, he spent 10 months to live, slept, and ate with 5 people of Bru Vargyas family in a house built on pillars in 1987 to 1988. During that time, there was no electricity, telephone, post office, shops, or medical station. He became a doctor, shared anti-malarial and appendicitis medicines with people. Due to living with Bru people for such a long time, Dr. Vargyas Gabor can speak Bru language fluently, also from the love for Bru culture in particular and Vietnamese culture in general. He is unconditionally loved with Vietnam. Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 NetVid, and on today's show we will have a conversation with Professor Gabor Vargyas, who is one of the famous foreigner ethnologists and who has been working in Vietnam for many years. And hi Professor Gabor, thank you for being here today with us.
Hello everybody.
Dear Professor, I have known that you have been working on your research for more than 30 years, so please share with us more about your work.
Well, I'm a professional anthropologist, and my job is to study culture wherever in the world, be it Vietnam or Hungary or elsewhere. Now, for special reasons, I came to Vietnam, and it happened that I started to work among a Vietnamese national minority, the Bru Van Kieu. And this was 30 years ago, and for us, what is a usual method of working is to go to the village, go to the people, and that's where I lived in one house with one Bru family 1.5 years. So this was probably the most wonderful years of my life.
And why did you choose Khe Sanh to be the location of your work?
Yeah, well, it's very simple. Everybody asks it, by the way. We decided this was a cooperation between the Hungarian Academy of Sciences and the Vietnamese Academy of Social Sciences. And we decided that this would be the minority, the Van Kieu. Now, the Van Kieu live in Quang Tri and Quang Binh province, and a little bit in Tra Thien also. But their main concentration is in Khe Sanh, around Khe Sanh. And that's why we went there, because they were the most numerous there.
I had a lot of memories there, so please share with us some.
Well, there are lots of memories, of course, and it's very hard to choose any of them. I did not speak really well. You need quite a lot of time for learning a language. We learn 4, 5, 6 years English when we start talking. Imagine what is with an unwritten language. At that time it was not written. So I did not really speak well, but we went out for hunting. And the Bru Van Kieu, a friend of mine who was with me, we stopped at the top of the mountain, and it was a wonderful panorama. And he just sat down there and he said, "Oh, look," which means it is beautiful in Bru Van Kieu. And this is when I understood that just as Vietnamese or Hungarian, they stick to their country, they love it, they know it, and they have a high esteem for it. He just looked around and said, "Look, this is beautiful." So this is the first human, this was a few weeks after I started to work there. And this was the first one when I understood we are very similar. But I have lots. I mean, the whole life happens in front of you. I lived in one house with one family, 2 small children, 3, 4 years old. Well, every day you see how they raise children. Whether they will hit them, never. So I have seen them raising their child, how to tell them, do this, not do that one. What is the relationship between parents and children? What is the relationship between husband and wife? and young men and young girl and so on. So this is life which is happening in front of your eyes, and this is wonderful.
The photo exhibition Divinities, Ancestors and Shamans, the Blue Vargyas in the Trường Cordillera, recently displayed in the Fine Arts Museum of Ho Chi Minh City. At this exhibition, Professor Vargyas Gabor selected 250 photos to display, including photos of preparations for a feast women husking rice, Domjo village, the ceremony area in the forest of Klong Saro village, harvesting a handful of rice during the ritual of the new rice, La Bouc village, arise somewhat the cultural and spiritual life of the Blue Vargyas people in the Trường Cordillera.
I think it's a very, very special exhibition. It's a second leg of a tour of this photo exhibition. For 2 or 3 months until recently, this exhibition was opened in Hanoi at the Vietnam Ethnology Museum with great success, over 160,000 visitors. And we are very proud that we can host this exhibition here in Ho Chi Minh City as a second leg of this tour. As you see, frankly, I think it's a very special exhibition because it's very rare that a foreign mission organizes some photo collection about the Vietnamese hill tribe, the Blue Vargyas. And it's all, but there is an explanation for this. And we are very proud of the scientists, of this Hungarian scientists, Orientalists who ventured into Vietnam in the 80s, and they did a great work for the universal culture, value of culture.
Let's get back to this exhibition. How long did it take you to do the preparation, and what are the advantages or the difficulties that you have been through?
Yeah, well, for a scientific exhibition like that, you need first of all, obviously, photos. Now I have 10,000 slides. When I had the idea to make this exhibition, I had to choose topics and then to choose photos to the topics. That takes months and months because you have to go through one by one 10,000 pictures and say, no, this one is not as good as the other one. Here I have 3 similar ones, which one to choose? So it took quite a lot of time. And then, of course, you have to, these ones are not digital photos. Back at those times, I made pictures on films, color and black and white films. Then you have to scan them, digitalize them. And then you have a body of a corpus of, let's say, 500 pictures. Then you have to decide how big this exhibition will be, how many panels, and on them, how many photos you will choose. You see, in that photo, for instance, on that panel, you have 3 pictures, but there are ones in which 2 or 4 or 1. This is always in function of the importance for you of the pictures. And then when you decide and you make it, then of course comes the graphic designer who will tell you, no, this is not like this, I prefer that photo, you should put it there, and so on. So then you have lots of discussions with the graphic designers of the exhibition. And then, okay, everything is finished, you have it on PC. On your computer, and then you have to go to the printing house, you have to get the money, you have to raise the money. This is the museum which makes it, or the embassy, and so on, or my academy. And then you let them print it. And then comes the true exhibition, because you arrive here, like here in this museum, you arrive with 75 panels, and then the question is how to put them. You have a more or less fixed order of the pictures, but still Sometimes here you cannot put it on the wall because the wall is too beautiful, it's not allowed. Then you get these, what do you call this, these stages for the paintings. Or you have a small room and you have too many pictures for it, and then you have to decide which one you leave out. I would like to make you understand that although we are different, our cultures, languages, everything is different, still we are all human beings, and however traditional, backwards way of life it seems to be, here in this culture, these people are just as happy as you are and I am in our cultures, and they have the same human feelings. They love and hate, they wish things and they are afraid of things. So that's my message.
I'm having your book here, which have been translated into Vietnamese, with the title Bất chấp định mệnh. So please share with us more about this book.
Yeah, well, this is a collection of essays which I have produced during the past 25 years. This is mostly the first ones of, now I could make one more or two more books like that, and we are planning doing it. But anyway, so this is something which I have published from 1985, 86, and there are, if I remember well, 13 papers in it. And they all deal with different topics within brew culture. One is ethnohistory, which is transmitted from generation to generation. How do they feel? What were the great events in their history and so on, and which is corroborated with historical facts. For instance, Vietnamese chronicles and so on. And then there are some other papers which are on curing and illness and shamanism. For instance, one is about a very special, this is the title of the book, there is a very special ritual made for old men, like me now, which is when they are ill and people are afraid that they would die, then they will make what they call lengthening the human life of the person. So this is a beautiful ceremony where they make everything symbolically so that the old man would stay longer, stay alive, be with us. There are some pictures in the other room about this ceremony, and this was one of my favorite, this is one of my favorite papers. I have at least 20 more articles which I could unite, but I am also writing some books. Probably my next book will be on agriculture and agricultural rituals among the brew, of course, which is back now 25 years ago, so it's a bit old, but I did not really have the opportunity until now to return there and see the changes. This year I will spend a few days there, so maybe I will have some new material also, but all this will be based on my old field notes.
You know what, to meet people like you who are foreigners but who are deeply in love with Vietnamese culture, it is one of my great honors. So do you have anything else that you want to share to the Vietnamese audience?
Well, I just love you, love Vietnam, love Vietnamese people, love Vietnamese cooking very much, and Vietnamese culture, of course. And within Vietnam, obviously, my favorite people are the Bru Van Kia, amongst whom I spent 1.5 years. So I just would like to say that be proud of your culture, your own culture. Don't destroy old houses, don't destroy old monuments. Be proud of your own heritage. Now, everywhere in the world, our own culture is becoming more and more praised. Be careful not to lose it forever.
We did have a great talk, and once again, thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.